Hi everyone. So I thought I would bring you along on how I decorate our foyer tree. This is a 12-foot tree and my husband just got it up. It's quite a chore to put up such a large tree. It's in many pieces. As you can see, the ladder is here in the space too. I think I'll probably end up moving it over a little bit, and I'm going to do something with this table over here, you know, some cute little arrangement on the table. So I'm not sure it's going to stay in exactly this place, but the first thing that does need to be done is that I do need to fluff it. So you can see a lot of the areas are kind of sparse. It has not been fluffed. It has been put away in a box for the past year. So I am gonna go fluff it, and I will be back to show you how it looks after I do that. Okay, so I have separated the branches and done some fluffing on the tree. I use the ladder for the top, obviously. You can see it's a very messy job. That's flocking all down there. And this is my shirt. So this is a very heavily flocked tree, and it is quite messy, but it's actually one of my favorites. And it looks so pretty when it is decorated, and it has white balls on it. So the theme I'm going for is a winter wonderland, and the tree is going to be all white. And I've done it before, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It looks so pretty. So that is what I'm doing again this year. So when I do separate the branches, it doesn't take that long, maybe like 20 minutes or so. What I do with some of the branches is I turn the tips, I angle them down just a little bit. Because, you know, out in the outdoors, when snow falls on the branches, you know, it weighs the branches down. So with the tips, I just angle them down a little bit. Not a lot, not so it damages the tree, but just angle them down a little bit to give it a little bit more of a realistic look. Another thing I noticed, this side has a very large gap to it that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to hide. I do have some tricks with hiding the inside, but what I think I'm going to do is take this side and move it to the back. So I always try to, once I have a tree fluffed, go around, look at all angles, see which angle is the best for the front, and then put the worst side in the back. So I am going to do that. And I'm gonna get my ornaments out of the garage, and then I will be back to show you the next step. Okay, so I've moved the tree a little bit, so the worst side is more facing the wall. But, you know, as I'm thinking about this, you know, I have the tree here and I have the foyer table here. Normally I keep this foyer table against this wall when we don't have the Christmas tree during the year. And then this area I have a couple chairs and a small side table. But what I'm thinking, so since it's a 12-foot tree and we have a couple chandeliers up here, you know, normally have to put it over there or here in the middle so it doesn't touch the bottom of the chandeliers. But as I'm thinking about this space over here, I'm having I purchased a really large floor mirror that is being delivered in a couple days, and I'm putting it in this space. So now that I think about it, I may want the Christmas tree to go here so that we can see the reflection in the mirror. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then move the foyer table over to the other side of the tree. So I'll have to wait for my husband to get home to help me with that. I don't think Bentley's gonna be able to to help me with that chore. But yeah, I think I'm going to like that a lot better. Last year I had the tree in this area, and then I put garland down the stairways, down the banister railing, and it does look really pretty. And I kept this table here last year, but I think with the mirror over here, it's gonna look really pretty to have the reflection. So that is what I think I will do. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, I have a few branches, like pine cone covered branches that look like this. I have 3 of them. So what I do with these is I just place them on top of the branches on the tree and just have them hang down over the branch. Like this. And I usually pick 3 places more towards the front of the tree and just have them hang down, sort of like they would in the wilderness. Pine cones with snow on them. So that's what I'm gonna do. That is the next step. And then I am going to add a couple more pine cones with berries, and I will show you how I do that. So I added the 3 stems, and I usually put them within eye level. Since I only have 3 of them, I added 1 here, and then I added that one in the front, and then I added 1 over here on the left side. So they're all fairly low down. And now I'm just gonna put in a few picks like these, and they're just pine cones with a little bit of paint on the side and berries. And I'm just gonna put these throughout the tree. So the tree is gonna be predominantly white with only a sprinkle of red berries. That's the look that I'm going for. Everything else will be white. Okay, so I added in some red berries in just a few spots. Like over here, I added in some berries. It's berries and 2 pine cones, and I attached it to another pine cone. So it's a little trio of pine cones with berries. And I just sporadically added them around in a few places. Again, I don't want the berries to be a predominant color. I just want the red just to be just ever so subtle. So that is what I did next. And I'm going to add some fir ribbon to the tree. And this is what I use to sort of cover up the holes in the middle, and it gives it like another layer of dimension with a blanket of snow on them, on the branches. So that is what I am going to do next. All right, so we got the tree moved around. My son helped me, and I moved the tree from this area to this area, and moved the table that was here over here, and I had a settee that was here that I moved over there, and a really large mirror is gonna come and grace this space in a couple days. So I'm really liking that. And then I think there's gonna be like a great reflection on the tree. So we got it moved. I have just started to put ribbon in on the bottom. I am gonna continue all the way up the tree. Have to get the ladder out for that. And I will show you my progress. Okay, so I have the fur ribbon on in between the layers. Can you see? Like there, up here. It's on each layer. And it sort of just looks like a layer of snow and gives it extra dimension. And what I try to do is I try to put at least one all the way around the tree, at least one roll of ribbon. Of course, on the bottom, where it's much wider, I need 2 pieces of ribbon, and I try to lay the ribbon on its side, not flat down. So I try to do it on its side. Some places it's not possible, but it looks better when it's facing outward instead of just lying down. So if you can see it, it goes all the way up, and I have it between the 2 chandeliers. I did add a couple extra large berry branches that I have. So I have 3 different types of berry branches on the tree. Larger ones, medium-sized ones that are attached to cones, and then just really small ones. And again, adding just a touch of red. I don't want too much. I want it to be very, very subtle. So next I am going to attempt to do some actual ribbon on the tree. As you can see by the lighting, it's getting kind of dark. Those are the kids in the background. They're making a gingerbread house. It's getting kind of dark in here. So this isn't like natural light. So the coloring may be a little bit off, but I am gonna try to put some ribbon on. I haven't exactly decided how I want to put the ribbon on yet. So I'm gonna have to play around with that a little bit, and I will let you know when I get back to it. Okay, so here we are back the next day, and it's brighter out, so we can see the tree a little bit better. I've had a chance to play around with the ribbon a little bit to try to decide what I like and what I don't like. And because of all of the horizontal ribbon that goes across throughout the tree, I am not liking adding ribbon in any way that goes down the tree. So I've played around with a few different types of methods, and I'm actually just really loving the way that it is now without the ribbon. And what I'm gonna do is, I do have some ribbon that I love, and I made some bows out of them. This is really, really pretty fabric ribbon. It's got a little bit of silver tied into it. I made some bows, and I'm just gonna put these on the tree at the end after I do the ornaments. So the next step is to put on all of the large ornaments that I have, and snowflakes and snowballs, and I will be back to show you what that looks like. I'm doing Invisalign, so if I do seem to have like a little bit of a lisp, which when I hear myself talk, I do hear, that's the reason for that. So, all right, I will be back to show you how the ornaments look after that, and we will be lighting the tree in a little bit to see how it looks. Okay, so now I have put on, I always start with the very largest ornaments that I have, and I use them to fill some of the gaps. So this is a very large ornament. I put that closer to the center of the tree. And where did I put the others? And then I have one down here as well. I think I have 4 of them on the tree. And again, I use the very large ones to hide gaps. Like this snowflake is a rather large one, and it's hiding a gap. So those are what I start with, the very largest ones, and then I go to the second largest ones, which is this size. And that is what I'm starting to put on now, these. And you can see that they're very shimmery and glittery, and they really stand out on the tree. Things with glitter and shimmer really add an extra sparkle. I also have some matte ones and some pearl ones, all different types, but These particularly are my favorite. And they're, you know, they're non-breakable. All right, I will be back. So now I've gotten all of the medium-sized sparkly ornaments on. And if you notice, I put them more towards the tip of the tree and not back towards the stem. And the way that I place them is sort of in a diagonal pattern. So there's one up here, there's one there, there's one over here, and then we go down over here to the left, and then we go down here, and then down here, so that when your eye looks at it, you're going down and looking at the ornaments in a zigzag pattern. I try not to put any two ornaments on the same row, so I wouldn't put one here and on the same row put it there. I would always put it on a row lower, so that when you're looking at this side, you look down in a zigzag pattern. And I did the same for this side. Sorry, the ladder's in the way. As you can see up there, I sort of went down in a zigzag pattern. All right, so I think it's looking pretty good. I'm going to continue on with the ornaments and now starting to fill in some of the other branches and place them a little bit more sporadically, you know, some like a little bit closer in the middle of the limb. I have the big ones in the very far back. I have these medium-sized ones on the tip, and then the other medium ones that I have, the next size down, I'm going to put on the middle edge or the middle part of the stems. Okay, so I am done with the ornaments. I put all of the ornaments on the tree, the large, the medium, the small, placed them in different places on the branch. The large ones towards the stem, the medium ones sort of in the middle of the branch, and the smaller ones just kind of like sporadically, some in the front, some in the back, depending on where I thought it looked good or where there were gaps. And another thing that I like to do is these little snowballs, they have a rough texture. They have a string to hang, but I like to actually just place them on a branch so they look like a snowball, actually just sitting on the branch as opposed to hanging from the branch. And again, they have a rough texture, so they very easily like stay on a branch without falling. So the very last thing that I am going to add to the tree is these flower stems. I have probably about 10 of them, and I am going to place them in the tree, and then we are going to light the tree up. I'll be back. Okay, and here it is, the finished tree. The last things I added were some poinsettia frosted stems, and I grouped like 3 of them together to fill in some larger gaps. So I put a set of 3 there, I put a set of 3 up here, and I put a set of 3 right down here. And along with that, I put my bows in. I tucked one very large bow in on the front as you walk in the door, and one over here, and then another one back here. So that is the finished tree. And for the skirt, I am just using a white tablecloth because the proper fur skirt I have isn't quite big enough for this tree. It's a little small. So to make the circumference area bigger, I'm just using a white tablecloth. And there it is. I'm going to turn it on in just a second. But I'm really liking it. So I think what I'm, over here, I have this table over here, And what I'm considering, and I want your all opinion, you know, I have another tree like this that is a 7.5 foot. And I've done double trees here in the foyer before. So I think I'm thinking about moving the 7.5 foot tree that I was gonna put in the family room and have it here. What do you all think about that? Or I could just dress this table up. So I may try them both. I may try dressing the table up, see if I like it. If not, I'm gonna move the double tree in. Drop me a comment below and let me know what you think. But I am going to turn this tree on so we can see what